Say hello to the people, Phil.
Nah. Hey, how's it
going? And welcome back to After the Hype, our review show for games we play on Hype. Have you ever played?
Twitch.tv/2pennygames every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central.
Indeed. Now, if you don't know, Hype, Have You Ever Played, is the show in which me and Phil show each other a game the other one has never played. We play it in full on stream, and you can watch those videos if you don't have time to, watch all day on Tuesday. You can watch those videos at youtube.com/2pennygamescast. Currently, I'm finally getting around to uploading Metal Gear Solid. We're half-ish way through that right now.
That game we played back in January.
It's July now. Anyways, it's a good time, so go check those out, go watch those. But this week, Phil...
Yeah, I showed you a certain game.
A certain game, indeed.
Starring an orange marsupial.
Indeed, that there, Crash Bandicoot 1. You love yourself some Crash Bandicoot.
I do, I love me some Crash.
Me, never touched the game before, so I played it.
Wow.
We played the Insane Trilogy version, but... Real quick, some quick facts, because I like the facts, alright?
How many facts?
There's a couple of facts. Just a couple of facts.
Just a couple?
So Crash Bandicoot, originally released September 9th, 1996, PlayStation 1. Sales sold as of November 2003 is the most updated sales number I could find.
That's fine.
And that was just a quick glance over Wikipedia.
Yeah.
6.8 million units as of November 2003. Reception, usually I pull the Metacritic. There is no Metacritic for this first game on the PlayStation 1. So,
as far as reception goes, Crash kind of became the face of the PS1.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean, he was fighting that with probably like Spyro at the time. Yeah. But other than that, there's really nobody else.
Also, fun fact.
First,
I don't know if you have it on there, but Crash 1 is the only one developed by Naughty Dog. The other one were handed off to Activision.
2 and 3 were not Naughty Dog games as well.
Well, I mean, it might still have the Naughty Dog name on it, but actually developed by Activision. It got handed off.
Dev'd or published?
I believe it was developed by Activision.
Huh.
Because
then what would Naughty Dog have to do with it? That doesn't sound right.
I don't know. But I learned that watched a completionist video on Crash 4.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's why 2 and 3 aren't as well received as the first game.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. I thought people liked them as they liked them more as they went on. Interesting. Anyways, so pulling from some quick things that Wikipedia found, aggregator game rankings has it at an 80%, and then IGN gave it a 7.5, GameSpot 6.8, Game Informer 9, EGM
out of 100 because Game Informer sucks.
EGM 33.5 out of 40. So, overall, super positive, but, a couple of 7s, a couple of 8s.
Yeah.
We're sitting pretty. And you know what? I gotta agree with that right there, because that there Crash Bandicoot, pretty solid game.
Yeah, it's very fun. Very challenging.
And then, as we just said, we played the Insane Trilogy version, which released June 30th, 2017.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4, the first year or something like that, if I remember right. Sales, most updated...
multi-platform, but yeah.
Most updated numbers I found, by February 2019, it sold over 10 million units. So, why is that studio canned, Activision? Fucking Jesus Christ. Anyways... Reception, the Insane Trilogy as a whole has an 80 on Metacritic. So, granted, not specifically speaking for Crash 1, but the trilogy as a whole, the package that it was, packed up in, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, dude, I get it. This is a good game. This is a fun game.
Yeah.
We played it all in one sitting, one day. I do not recommend that.
Yeah, you were having a rough go of it.
Yeah, it's a test of endurance. Let me tell you what, my man, to marathon through a Crash Bandicoot game, because there are spikes in that difficulty that, you're gonna be there for a while. But I think if I played it, 2 hours here, 2 hours there, come back, a couple days later or something, I think I would have had a much overall better time. But I still had fun pretty much from stem to stern in this game. So Crash, in that weird era where we're trying for 3D, but it's really like kind of 2D-esque with different camera
I'd say
angles.
it's like a limited 3D platformer.
Yeah, it's a limited 3D It's not like 2.5. It's you're in a 3D space, but we've only designed the levels with the mindset of 2D platformers that came before it, because we're in that 2000 we're in that I'm sorry, not 2000. We're in that 90s era of video games where 3D is here, 3D is booming. We have greats like Super Mario 64 and like
you're really only going to be going forward away from the camera, backward towards the camera, or side scrolling.
And then they mix it up, occasionally will give you like some kind of weird Dutch angle or something, but for the most part, you're gonna hit those main three. Man, some of these levels they weren't playing around. Some of these levels,
some of them have very unique gimmicks that.
I did like the gimmick levels. I think most infamously, those bridge levels are just a fucking pain in the ass.
With all like the fog you're talking about, like the rope bridge that's falling apart.
The rope bridge and the turtles and all that. Not the biggest fan. But I really did enjoy the structure of this game. I thought it was a little silly that the final of the 3 islands, the final one has like just as many as the first 2 put together. And that really was like, oh Jesus Christ, this is a long game. But it's not. But it is when you're playing it in one sitting. And then you know what? Crash controls well, man. Yeah. It feels good to control Crash. There is sometimes like a little bit of depth perception issues.
That is a very common thing among like people that didn't grow up with it. But in Crash 4, they do something to kind of help you out. With,
really?
A little bit of like quality of life. They give you a little white circle that tells you where you are.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, in these early games, that would have fixed my whole thing. I was like, what would fix? Do they do like the Little Big Planet like lane switching type thing? You ever play Little Big Planet?
No, not really.
Oh, we might get to it. They're fun. They're fun.
All right,
we might do the first one. 2 and 3, I don't know if we necessarily need to
dust off the old PS3.
Yeah, Little Big Planet is a fun cute little game. Anyways. But yeah, I had quite a good time. Phil, what is your background? What is your experience being the fan of the franchise? What is your background with this here Crash Bandicoot?
As a child, I hadn't played the original when I was a little kid. I was all about 3. I was all about Warped.
You were a big Warped fan.
That was my big one.
My dog just burst into the room. Hold on. Okay, dog taken care of. Dog. There we go. So you were all about Warped.
Yeah, I was all about Crash 3, which it's kind of like hit or miss. A lot of people also say that's like the one that they grew up with and that they enjoyed.
To my understanding, at least with the Insane Trilogy, that's the game that aged the best out of the 3. Because I heard a lot of talk of like, oh, this third game actually is better than people remember it being.
I think that's true.
Okay.
Because of course I liked it because it's the one I grew up with, and it's just pure nostalgia.
That nostalgia hits.
But yeah, Warped is like. There's a lot more than just the typical like Crash running away from something or running towards something else or side scrolling. There's like more variety. There's like a couple different like vehicle kind of sections. There's like one where like he's on a speedboat, or it's like a speedboat or like a jet ski. I think it's Coco on a jet ski, and there's one where Crash like flies a plane. And I think I can't
vehicle sections. And
I think that's
so forth.
I think that's introduced in 2.
Couldn't tell you.
I'm more talking to myself. I'm not looking for help or whatever.
Well, none of that is in this first game. It's all just pure platforming.
There is one that sticks out to me the most from Crash Warp, just in my memory. For like me as a kid, I should say, is there's a one where you're on like the Great Wall of China as Coco and you're riding a tiger.
Oh, that's funny.
Like jumping over shit, like the boar section in the first game.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I forgot that even happened.
Yeah.
That only happened one time.
There's only one in the first game.
Weird. It's very weird.
But no, yeah, you're on the little tiger. I can't remember what's the tiger's name. It's got a name. It's in Crash Team Racing.
We'll get there, someday or something.
It's something. I can't remember the.
Ooh, we should play Crash Team Racing someday.
I'd be down.
That would be kind of fun. Anyways. So when did Crash 1 come into the picture?
Not till much later. I want to say it was definitely before the Insane Trilogy dropped, because I had played 3 when I was like a little kid on PS1, and then I think maybe I was like 10 or 11, maybe 12 when I hopped back in and got 2 and 3.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, 1 and 2.
1 and 2. 10, 11, 12. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it came later.
And then I played it again when it dropped in 2017.
For sure. So where are you sitting? Where am I saying? Where am I going with this? Where do you sit with this first game here?
With the first game, I think it's great. I mean, it's just the right amount of challenge. Because sure you're gonna be beating your head up against the wall sometimes. But then you get past that one spot and you feel really good.
Almost 95% of the time, it always feels attainable. It always feels like, okay, I know what I need to do.
It's just extremely tight timing.
Yeah.
Very tight. There's so many jumps that are specifically meant to be just attainable.
Yeah.
Like if you get it just a split second too early.
Or at least they feel that way. Like the barrier is lower than it feels, but it feels like, okay, I can just nail it. And then when you do nail it, it feels great.
Yeah.
And you almost always know exactly how far Crash can go, where he can jump. You usually have a pretty good idea of where you're going to land. Again, with some of the bridge levels where it's really tight, really small platforms that you can land that break away as soon as you land on them and stuff, and then you're jumping on turtles and you get really high, and they try to give you a little bit of a shadow to figure out where you're going, but it's mixed results, I think, sometimes.
So with Crash 1, it's literally just the running and jumping. Crash 2, they introduced crouching and sliding.
Oh, I would like. Oh, that sounds fun. I want some of that.
You get crawl on all fours.
Especially in some of those final levels in what is his name, Dr. Cortex. In some of Cortex's levels with the red and blue tubes and stuff. Some of those levels, I was like, I'd really appreciate some kind of if I could slide under something, or if I could.
There's a slide. There's a slide, and with that slide, you can do a slide jump to give you a little extra momentum to go forward faster. And then there's a body slam because they introduced heavy crates, which are reinforced crates. Or whatever.
We get some more crate action.
You do a body slam and it crashes down.
Sure. I will say, most of what you're doing in this game is jumping, but they do have Crash's iconic spin move. To me, spin move never really felt perfect. It didn't feel great.
You see, Tavin, that's because you're wrong.
I guess,
and because the spin is iconic and it's amazing every single time.
It's partly with just how fragile Crash is. I feel like it's much safer to almost always hit the jump than it is to spin into him. Because if you don't time the spin right, and the range the spin has is so short that if you don't time that right, you're gonna lose either, the little, what are the protection,
Aku, the mask.
Aku mask, or you're going to die. So I almost always would rather jump, and then with its enemies where it's you have to spin, those always presented the most not challenge, but it was the most nerves when engaging with those enemies.
In Crash 4, they make the spin better to where if you use it 3 times, you get a little boost forward.
Okay. Crash 4?
Yeah, Crash 4.
Oh, okay.
So if you do, it's kind of an incentive to get better at just marathoning through a level to complete a time trial.
Got it.
Because you kind of always just need to be hitting the spin 3 in rhythms of 3. It's 1, 2, 3, and then usually there's a jump after, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just to keep that momentum up and keep moving forward. It's phenomenal. I love Crash. I love the spin. I love the jump. Love it all.
And I thoroughly enjoyed this first game, I'll say. Any other? It is weird that they have one. The music was great in this.
Music's incredible.
Game. It was always good.
It stays that way. It stays incredible the entire series.
In our playthrough, I was humming along with it all the fucking time. Of course, it did get quite annoying on levels that we're stuck on for 20 minutes and 30 minutes, and then we're hearing the opening jingle 100 times, and it's all right, now this is just grating. But that happens with any type of music.
My favorite soundtrack is from Warped. But,
Warped.
We've already talked about how
Very nice.
I like Warped.
I think of games that we've played, platformers live it, video games can really be made, make or break by the music, but I think platformers especially, you need to have that great music. I think this one has been, of the ones we've played on H.Y.E.P, I think this one has had my favorite, of the platformers, this has been my favorite music.
Over Sunshine?
Yeah, I like it better than Sunshine. I think it's just because Sunshine
I
had.
probably agree with that.
I think Sunshine had fewer tracks, so a lot of them were like reused, and none of them were like 10. With the exception of like a couple, none of them were like 10 out of 10. Like I could listen to this all day.
So
whereas like Crash, it was like pretty consistently like great all the way through.
You have said that Super Mario Sunshine is your favorite game that I've shown you.
Still probably there. Just because Crash 1 is so limited, it's smaller in scope. You know, it
less to the game.
Yeah, and then it's in that limited 3D platformer space that we're in. I just prefer the full out freedom of a 3D Mario game. So, you know, I mean, it's sitting fairly high, man. I liked this game quite a bit. Definitely liked it more than Spyro, just because Spyro is much more limited in, like, gameplay mechanics, and it's just a shorter and, you know, I don't want to say less interesting, less complex game. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Crash. I did like that it kicked my teeth in sometimes. I feel for the most part, it paced itself pretty well, where it was like, okay, here's a really fucking hard level you're going to spend the next 15 minutes on. Okay, here's 2 or 3 levels that you'll probably breeze through, you know, with minimal deaths, if any. Gimmick levels, I enjoyed most of them.
You really didn't like the darkness level.
I did like the darkness level. It just came so late in the stream to where I was just so tired. I just wanted to be done because I was like, I'm done. I'm tired of playing this game right now.
I think that was one of the 2 times that I had to take over.
Dude, it was just like, I can't. Like my brain.
I think it was that first bridge level and then that darkness level.
See, that first bridge, you just beat it because you just wanted to. You were itching to put your hands on the controller, and then it came to a point with me where I was just like, I just want to move on.
Yeah.
Like, so
you tried to do it after me.
Yeah. Whereas, like, with the darkness level, I was like, my brain is fried, because this was after the second bridge level, which people say is harder.
It is.
It probably is, yeah, but I was able to fucking get it done. Unlike the first one. And then, so that darkness level comes after that second bridge level, so my brain is fucking fried. We've been at it for 7 hours. I want to go, like, I'm tired, man. I want to go to sleep. I'm just as tired as Crash is, man.
Getting hit with 30 boxes because you missed all of them.
Fucking shit. But... you know, overall, really great game. I enjoyed the gimmick levels, but they were more of like a take 'em or leave 'em type feel. Nice to like switch things up, but I felt like the gameplay switched up enough when we changed camera perspectives.
How'd you like the boss fights?
That's a great question, Phil.
Do you remember all the boss fights? What was the first one?
Fuck. The first one. See, this is tough because we're recording this 2 weeks after we played the game.
Yes.
I went on vacation, and now we're back, and so it's like, oh, this is tougher to remember. First one, I'm trying to think. So I know second one is the dude on the 3x3 grid that you time the explosions with.
Ripperoo. That's that guy.
First one, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't think I remember.
It was the big fat guy that swings his stick around. Papu Papu.
Oh, I'm only barely remembering this. It's 2 weeks, man. It's hard, man.
So you got Papu Papu, you got Ripperoo.
Yeah.
Do you remember the third guy?
Is it the one with the mine carts?
Yeah, it's Koala Kong. Yep.
There we go. Yeah, I remember that one. Past that, I don't know.
You don't remember?
I don't know. Is it the little Igor character is 5, right?
That's the penultimate boss fight.
Yeah, and there's like 6. I'm forgetting one. Which one am I forgetting?
You're forgetting Pinstripe.
Which was...
the Weasel with the Tommy gun.
That's right. Yeah, Weasel with the Tommy gun. Okay, yeah. Overall, I liked them fine. I can see how on like repeat or replay, they'd probably just be kind of like, all right, let's get this over with. Whereas like, you know, the core like Crash gameplay is much more like, okay, let's fucking dive into this level and knock this shit out.
I think Ripperoo is my favorite Crash like villain. Whatever.
The 3x3 with the bombs and the waterfall or whatever. Is that right? Yeah. I did enjoy. I forget his name. The Igor character, the penultimate one.
What was his name? It's N something. It's always N something.
Yeah,
with like the scientist guys.
I enjoyed him because that's one that like I can see the patterns coming and stuff, and I think my least favorite is probably the minecart dude or
Koala Kong.
Yeah, or the Tommy gun, just because it's like that was definitely one where it's like, all right, let's wait. Let's wait for him to open up. Oh, okay, he opened up. All right, I got the hit. All right, let's move on. And then I did feel like some of the hit detection with the Tommy gun dude I felt was a little off occasionally.
I think you were just tired.
Maybe.
Because there were moments where like I was like, oh, he's about to get hit with this, and then you did. Because you weren't like behind the chair like entirely.
Maybe
You're peeking out.
You know, very potentially. I mean, you know, who knows? But it felt like to me it was like all right, it kind of felt like I was behind, but maybe I wasn't, or maybe it was just like a skosh. But whatever. But yeah, overall, quite enjoyed this here Crash Bandicoot, Phil. Great H.Y.E.P pick. As we get deeper into your catalog here, I'm enjoying it a lot more. Granted, we just dove like headfirst into all of these quote unquote 3D platformers here. So it's probably just, and that's a genre I love. So it's
I
probably
played a lot
why
of
I'm
those as a
enjoying so many
kid.
of these. Played a lot of those. I played a good portion. I mean, it was just Sly Cooper and Ratchet and Clank were my main things, and you've already played Ratchet and Clank.
Yep.
So, but we'll get to Sly Cooper here one day.
I think next one.
Oh.
I'm thinking, like, at least for my pick, I'm thinking we either jump back into Spyro or we hop into Jak and Daxter.
You know what? Funny story. This last week, I went to Florida to go see my dad. And I brought my PlayStation Vita with me because I had a hankering for some Metal Gear Solid. Because, Kind of Funny enough, some of the guys on Kind of Funny who had never played Metal Gear Solid, they're doing a live playthrough of the first game right now, and they're uploading it. It put me in the mood. Which is also why I started editing and uploading, because I was like, oh, let me get the story
MGS1
out.
playthrough,
Yeah. And it's funny where like you had difficulties and they're just fucking breezing right through it, and then there's like other points where they're like, fuck man, how do I fucking do this? And you were like, I got it, this is no big deal.
Psycho Mantis is a fucking pushover.
Okay.
I beat him in 2 attempts.
So I pulled up my Vita, loaded up the Metal Gears or whatever, but on my main screen, I guess just from whenever I bought it and installed it, the Jak and Daxter collection was on it, and I almost clicked on it just to like be like, maybe I'll do. But then I was like, oh wait, no. This is one Phil wants. I know Phil wants this one.
Yes.
So I was like, no, never mind. Let me just stick with Metal Gear for right now.
Yes. We will play it.
And we will play it. Very exciting times. Very exciting stuff. Phil.
Yeah.
You like to do little number ratings here.
I sure do.
Over here on this show. How are we feeling here about this first Crash Bandicoot game?
Crash 1 is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
7.5 out of 10.
You know what? I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm right at that 7.5 range, right there with you. I think, you know, overall, its base, its core gameplay is really, really good, really, really fun. It feels good to play Crash Bandicoot, which is the most important thing when you do any type of platforming.
Indeed.
And yeah, like it doesn't have like a story like later 3D platformers like Ratchet and Clank or whatever would have, like in the sense of like one that matters. It's just, you know, bounce to the next level. Now let's go to the next level. Now let's go to the next level. Here's a boss fight or whatever. I think its only shortcomings are some of its difficulty spikes are ridiculous. I think
that's less the game's shortcomings and more your shortcomings.
Sure, whatever. And then also, I don't love the spin move, as iconic as it is, but I don't hate the spin move. So like, and then other than that, it's just a matter of like some of these boss fights are just kind of whatever to me, and then some of the gimmick levels, you know, take them or leave them. But I think overall, I think its pacing is really, really, really well done, which is super important. You can't have 4 back-to-back fuck you in the ass, you know, levels, and then, you know, the rest of the game is easy street. So they, you know, they break them up and they sprinkle them out throughout the game very well. I think its rise in complexity is very well done. You know, those early levels now that I've beaten the game, I could probably go back and fucking crush. Whereas like early on, it was like, oh, I'm falling, you know, for simple things.
Yes.
So like as you learn the game's rules and it adds on more complex stuff, you personally are growing. Your skill level is growing in that. So that's all really well done. And a lot, funny enough, you don't understand this quite yet, but there are some seeds in this first Crash game that you can see, Naughty Dog used to grow and how they grew into doing things. I haven't played Jak and Daxter, of course, but Uncharted and beyond, you know, things like, Crash's presentation and like whenever a boulder is rolling behind you iconically and stuff.
The Indiana Jones.
Yeah, even like things like climbing Cortex,
yeah.
Cortex's fortress from the outside, and it's raining and it's dark and like the lightning strikes at perfect times and stuff. Like all of these things, like you can see where you can see the beginnings of where Naughty Dog can go. And I'm hoping I only see that more and more as we dive deeper into the Naughty Dog catalog, and I fill out sort of my back end, and you fill out, your front end here.
Yes.
So, overall, Crash Bandicoot, really fun game. I think really holds up, at least this Insanity, the Insane Trilogy, version of it does.
I mean, it's relatively unchanged.
Relatively. I understand that they changed, because it was like a not controversy, but it was like a thing of note that they changed Crash's, sort of like a collision box. It's more of like an oval now, whereas before it was just a square, so like you could like stand on the edge of something, back in the day, and now if you stand, you'll slip
slide,
off.
Yeah.
So I understand that even like makes it a little more difficult than it was back in the day, but I think they did something with checkpoints or something in this game. They gave some kind of quality of life thing to the Insane Trilogy. I just don't remember what it was. Anyways, had a great time. Pretty dang good game. Excited to play more. Excited to jump into some more Crash fun stuff. But Phil,
yeah,
that's gonna do it for our Crash Bandicoot After the Hype review.
The hype.
Now, of course, you can catch us every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/2pennygames, where we film Hype every Tuesday. Have you ever played this next week, Phil? The Reapers are here. That's right, baby. We're diving back in. We're finishing off our playthrough of the Mass Effect trilogy.
I will play Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3. Phil here is going to play his first Mass Effect 3. Phil?
Yeah?
You're not ready.
Am I not?
You're not. You may think you are, but you're not. Anyways, it's been a great time. Hope to see you there. If you're listening from the podcast, thank you so much for listening through all the way here. If you're listening to the standalone version that comes out on Tuesday, go check out the podcast every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time. We talk about, video game news and stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be less fun this week as we talk about, some of this, coincidentally, all this Activision stuff that's happening right now. However, Activision Blizzard, yeah. I mean, tomato. And you can go ahead and if you don't want to watch live streams, you can catch, the playthrough of games we play on Hype right now. We're uploading the Metal Gear Solid ones. We'll get there, man. The Crash ones will come. Eventually.
6 months ago.
I mean, but we're getting through. We're gonna get through them fast.
Okay,
is the thing. And like any week like this last week that we skip a Hype, like the catch up is gonna be insane.
Okay.
So it'll catch up. Now I actually think it's okay because we've put it in a way to where like we've given ourselves enough like headway time that we're like if something happens and like we can't record for 2 weeks, we're gonna be fine.
Okay.
No, stuff like that. Anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for listening. Podcast is over at youtube.com/2pennygamescast, excuse me. But you can also find it Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those great podcast services. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. And Phil!
Yeah.
Say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.